I think me and Chris, we have a very fun relationship, a very interesting relationship. I think at times, sure, we most certainly can get under each other's skin, but that's only because we both want to outperform one another, which is normal, because we're both alphas and we're both really, really, really good at our job.
I believe in you, man. I believe in you too, Max. Much respect. There you go.
Have a great show.
Yeah, have a great show tonight.
No, you have a great
Kill it!
You'd kill it.
What a loser.
The Dinner Debonair is one of the greatest segments in pro wrestling history that nobody saw coming, and nobody could have pulled that off besides Max and myself. Nobody.
Like the wallpaper sticks to the wall, like the seashore clings to the sea, like you'll never get rid of your shadow, Chris, you'll never get rid of me.
In the business now, then, in the future, so the chemistry is off the charts.
Chris Jericho, the man, the myth, the legend, the champion, come on, baby! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! The demo god! That means an awful lot.
Yeah, you know?
You're pretty great. No. Chris, stop it. You're pretty great. You're great. No, Chris! You're great, man!
For MJF, if I'm being really frank and really blunt, I don't think it would benefit him to be with the Inner Circle.
Let's talk about that, huh?
What a present.
Is that not the greatest gift you've ever seen?
Thank you so much for this amazing present. Thank you. Chris? Oh. I hate clowns, and don't ever interrupt me again. You understand me?
This may change the course of what MJF had to say next week. Oh, of course.
You got me there for a second.
Prestige, my mega stardom. I really don't know what I wouldn't bring to the group. Look, everybody in that group is fantastic, and I'm not trying to say anything negative about them. They're all incredible, but like, they're not me. I mean, me and Chris are literally the two biggest minute-for-minute rating draws in the company. That's not nonsense, that's a fact. Google it. And what more could you possibly ask for than having two megastars in one group?
Chris, I would like to join the inner spiritual child in my body to get my smile back.
Dumb, Max.
MJF is smart, one of the sharpest minds in all of wrestling. Jericho, same goes for him. These two men are cut from the same cloth.
I'm Max Friedman. Would sort of, kind of, hypothetically, theoretically, possibly, plausibly might want to join the Inner Circle.
I think it would benefit MJF to join the Inner Circle. I think it would benefit the Inner Circle to have MJF part of their ranks.
I think the only thing about MJF that I'll say, and this is not a cut down, is MJF isn't as good as he thinks he is yet. What's scary is when he actually becomes as good as he thinks he is, which will happen very, very soon.
It's a facade. They're both attempting to play mind games with the other, and neither are smart enough to succeed.
Jericho is someone that knows talent. He sees maybe a new version of Chris Jericho in MJF.
So you got two of the great communicators in all of pro wrestling stepping in the ring together. How they communicate physically is going to be very intriguing. But I think Jericho could very easily have said, you know, this little son of a gun reminds me of me, you know, 25 years ago.
So I ask you, Christopher, what exactly haven't I done?
You haven't beat me. But I'm gonna give you a chance to do that. At Full Gear on November 7th, it's gonna be MJF versus Chris Jericho one-on-one.
I don't think there's anybody of his age or his experience level who's done what he's done in such a short period of time.
This is the biggest opportunity of my life, and I am not taking it for granted. So I'm going to let you know something man to man. I will do whatever it takes to win. I will do anything to win.
I'd expect nothing less.
No, Chris, you don't understand. Anything odds are that Chris is going into this match very confident, as you should be. Look, we're fighting over my right on whether or not I can be in the inner circle.
You don't have that killer instinct.
Can MJF beat me? I don't know.
It would bar none be the biggest win in my entire career, and that's saying stuff, man, because I've beaten everybody. But Chris Jericho isn't everybody. Chris Jericho is a legend. Chris Jericho is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Chris Jericho will probably go down as one of, if not the greatest professional wrestler of all time, until I retire.
If he's good enough physically, if he's good enough mentally, if he's smart enough, maybe he can beat Chris Jericho. I wouldn't bet on it, but if he can, then he'll be offered the keys to the Inner Circle Kingdom.
A little over a year ago, talk in the wrestling world, there's a company named AEW opening up. Well, for an old-timer like me that's been a wrestler 38 years, I looked at that and went, awesome. Now, for every person that is a fan of professional wrestling, you have a home. I have a home. Cody is the face of this company. He's the hardest working man in this company. That's who Cody wants to be. He wants to dress the part. He wants to look the part. He wants to act the part. All the kids out there that are sitting in the floor on Wednesday night with their friends going, I want to be Cody.
You hear the chants of Cody. He has this connection with the fans that is very rarely seen in pro wrestling.
He has resonated with this crowd, and not just this crowd, but around the world.
He wants to earn that. He wants that respect to come because he did all of the right things to represent this company. Screech to a halt.
Darby Allin is a strange enigma. To say he is unorthodox would be an understatement.
There's another generation of human beings and children out there.
I think fans get behind me because they notice this isn't a gimmick, this isn't a joke. I don't turn this off Thursday morning. This is me.
Darby Allin is as different as anybody I've ever seen in this industry.
First time we saw Darby Allin in AEW, it was against Cody. Cody couldn't beat him.
That's it. 20 minutes of it has expired.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time limit has expired. I've been Darby's daddy on more than one occasion.
Arms on the apron. Arn tapping his knees. Oh! Arn putting the knees up. They're covered. Yes, finally. Oh, look at that. He's gonna win. He's gonna win. Cody's got him. No, Cody got him pinned. What?
The Darby that Cody's going to face at Full Gear is a different crazy cat than he was before. Kid gets better every single time out.
Back in the day when AEW was first announced, that press conference, I was sitting in my piece of shit car watching it live. I was nowhere near someone asking me, yo, do you want to be a part of this? So I felt like I was the last round draft picked in this company, and that pissed me off.
He's gaining something that he had to have, and that's confidence. He's been told all his life you can't do it. You're too small. You're too unorthodox. You're not traditional, but he's overcome all those preconceived notions.
I paint my face because when I was 5 years old, my uncle was drunk driving, and he picked me up. And about an hour into the car ride, he crashed, and he passed away, but I survived. So I paint 50% of my face because 50% of me feels dead inside. See, when something like that happens at such an early age, it shapes you, and it makes you question everything and don't trust anybody. Inside, no matter what I do or whatever I accomplish, nothing's ever good enough. I'm always out there to prove someone wrong.
The TNT Championship means virtually every week you're going to have a top flight performer step up and go, I'm next in line. Cody, he's hog-headed. He believes he's the champion. If you're the challenger, It's going to give you a fair crack at what the prize is.
It's been documented you gained 14 pounds during your height. Is there a goal in mind with this weight gain?
It was time for me to genuinely shift into heavyweight territory. If you look at the matches I've had with Jake Hager, Lance Archer, Mr. Brody Lee, I'm practically AEW's giant killer.
Cody is approaching his business right now with a strong mental approach.
Remember when you strapped that dog collar around your neck? You'd already been routed by that man one time. You had everything to gain and nothing to lose. Darby, that's where he's sitting. If he doesn't win, people are going to say, well, you know what? Cody's the man.
If I was to say that Darby is not a worthy challenger, I'd be lying. Of course he's a worthy challenger. But I'd be remiss if I don't point out I think there are other challengers. Again, Darby has bent the knee twice. He's been handedly defeated twice. If Darby doesn't win, who's Darby? He's one of those wrestlers that for the next decade we talk about how he's the future. Those are the worst type of wrestlers. You're not a rookie anymore. Sammy Guevara, MJF, Darby Allin, Britt Baker, all you year one rookies, it's year two now. And most of you have grown and glown up. But Darby's just got the worst draw of them all. He really does. He's gonna be standing across from me.
It's not about the money, it's not about the fame, it's about being the damn face of this company. I'm not changing who the hell Darby Allin is.
Darby Allin's going to be competing for the TNT Championship, and clearly there's something really wrong with him.
He has no regard for his own personal safety.
I think he's relentless. I think he's reckless. Now you're on a pay-per-view, a major pay-per-view, with half the locker room, more than half, wondering why they're not on the pay-per-view. How do you think you're gonna feel when you have to walk by all those guys who didn't make the cut and you lost again?
These are two athletes that know each other in the ring. Two completely different styles, two completely different lifestyles, two completely different mindsets between the TNT champion Cody and Darby Allin.
Cody, he's willing to change who he is should the situation demand it. We saw it when he came back. He dyed his hair dark. He was wearing black suits. He went to this dark place. He had to go to this dark place. Darby doesn't. Darby is in that place constantly.
I believe that added muscle, added motivation gives Cody the edge.
I am here to be a champion. I'm here to main event this show. I'm here to be the face of TNT.
I don't like telling a story that's not real. And the story that Darby can't be the face of TNT is not real. He certainly can't be. Is he going to be?
That 105-day reign as AEW Women's World Champion, that started at Double or Nothing earlier this year.
She's not done yet.
Boom! With the knee to the face. Covers 2, 3.
She got it. Sheeta's a champion. Sheeta has upset Nyla Rose. Long time coming and well-deserved for Sheeta.
Stand tall, like the mountain we overcome.
Once you're the champion, the last thing you want to lose is that distinction.
Stand up, stand tall.
Either the athlete makes the championship or the championship makes the athlete. She has made the AEW Women's World Championship.
Take it all.
To steal every opportunity you have ever dreamed of! When Nyla Rose and myself are ready to go after the Women's Championship, it will be the perfect time.
There are a lot of us that believe that if Sheeta wrestled Nyla Rose 10 times, then Nyla might win 7 or 8 of them.
This is how legends are made.
We are no longer stepping inside this ring until Sheeta publicly accepts my challenge.
Naira, you want me, I want you at Full Gear.
You wanna be a champion. You want the world to know your name. Screaming from the rooftops. 'Cause you're right.
this is going to be a slobber knocker, I can tell you that right now.
When you have the level of talent in this tournament, anything could happen. And I think Kenny and Hangman being in the tournament final at Full Gear is the storybook ending that everyone was hoping for.
Both winning type guys, but I think they're two individuals that inadvertently were put together as a team, and they gelled.
I think Kenny Omega is still trying to find who Kenny Omega is after his time with Paige as tag team champions.
When he and Paige were finally dethroned, that gave Kenny the perfect excuse to say, hey, I don't need anybody else. This is my time. I can do it myself.
I see Kenny Omega winning the match, only because, to me, he is wrestling with an abundance of confidence right now.
If Hangman Page is mentally focused, has a great strategy, he can beat Kenny Omega.
For me, this is easy. As a subject matter expert on Kenny Omega, the world's greatest wrestler is going to beat Hangman Page. You heard it from Don Callis.
It'll be interesting to see how much they took away from each other as far as knowing each other and how that's going to play out in the match.
Anyone you got at me, I'm going to win this thing, and I'm going to be the champion that I was destined to be in AEW, Hangman and Page or not.
You had to sum it up in one word, FTR's stay thus far here in AEW, it'd be successful.
I think for the longest time here in AEW, I think it was cool to please the fans. I think it was cool to go out there and make the fans pop. And that is cool, but I think for myself and Cash, ultimately, leaving a legacy is what we want to do.
FTR, they come in here, they dominate.
They do what they said they were going to do.
They've become a great team with the addition of Tully Blanchard.
Nobody can deny how good we are.
We're not saying that they aren't great.
No, we're not doubting that at all.
Clearly they are. And then you think about where we've been in the last year, and things haven't exactly gone our way. We'll be the first.
Let's be honest, not at all. Anytime we've had a big opportunity, we've lost, and that's not the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks coming to AEW was one of the great signings that Tony Khan made because the Young Bucks had and still do, a phenomenal following.
You talk about box office draws in tag team wrestling, you talk about the Young Bucks. Nobody has drawn the money that we did all around the world.
And the Young Bucks brought tag team wrestling back to superiority. And I have to give them that.
We all thought, including myself, well, heck, they'll be the champions sooner than later. Then we have the tournament, they get beat in the first round by the number 8 seed, Private Party. Who the hell saw that coming? I didn't.
Professional wrestling is all about, what have you done for me lately? And lately, we haven't been delivering like we normally would have.
I think that the Young Bucks believe, based on what we've seen in recent weeks, that they have to be more aggressive.
What? Oh, no! What in the hell?
They are as angry and as mad as I've ever seen them.
Those lashing out, those unsportsmanlike moments come out of frustration. They're pissed off. They haven't done better.
Jeez. What, did we interrupt something?
The Young Bucks, now as executives, have pretty deep pockets and can afford to pay fines that some members of this roster would shudder at.
They want to be the unquestioned top of the food chain, and they're not anymore. And the second we stepped foot in AEW, you saw this change.
All I know is that when we started acting ourselves again, I felt like something just feels right again.
This has always been in the heart of the Young Bucks. It's been a while since I've seen it awoken.
That felt good.
They can't help it when they're threatened, when they know they're not the best at what they do. They're going to do whatever they can to take attention away from us, away from these, and put it on themselves.
How upset was FTR when we won the four-way tag match to become #1 contenders?
I don't think they thought we even had a shot, because every time we've had a shot, like I've said, we've pretty much blown it. We know that this opportunity is rare.
Finally, the Bucks and FTR at Full Gear. With the
FTR's swarming on the Bucks. Nick Jackson's being set up. Oh, the spike!
They're going to try to break the leg of man now.
Oh, no! Oh, my God!
Matt, I think the question that's on everybody's mind is, how's your ankle? Doc Sampson says it's a severe sprain, tubular contusion.
My ankle's fine. This match has been brewing for years now. You think that a little baby injury like this is going to keep me out of Full Gear?
The Young Bucks have proven time and time again that don't count them out. Do so at your own peril.
The question I'm asking a lot is who's the better tag team, Young Bucks or FTR? The accolade goes with the team that has the gold. And that's how it's always been measured. That's how it should still be measured. Not a popularity contest, not who sells the most t-shirts, but who can whip ass in the ring. And right now, FTR is the tag team champions. FTR is the better team. And the way the Young Bucks can dispel that and change my mind, become the tag champions, then you get that accolade.
We've always reacted best when our backs are up against a wall. That's why, at Full Gear, if we don't win the tag titles this time, we're never challenging for the tag titles ever again.
They may not understand it, but they've shot themselves in the foot.
This is a must-win for the Young Bucks.
Interesting to see what style is going to prevail and what team will walk out the World Tag Team Champs.
It's time to bet everything on the Young Bucks again.
My love for pro wrestling started as a kid. I couldn't calm down when I was a kid. I was a hyper kid. And my poor, beautiful mother, hey, Ma, she had to calm me down. And the only way she could calm me down was putting in wrestling tapes.
Here's a couple of things I know about Eddie Kingston from talking to him. This may be a surprise to many, but Eddie Kingston's best friend is his mom. She is the person that really, I wouldn't say leads him, but mentors him. He believes in his mom.
And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me driving. Not money, not fame, love.
18 years of grinding in this business, Eddie Kingston has been through the ringer. He's been chewed up and spit out. As bad as anybody I've ever seen. But he had the respect of his peers. And he wants to throw all that away and embrace bitterness. You want anger to be constructive, not destructive.
I wrestled the world's champion, Jon Moxley. And he put me in the Bulldog choke. And guess what I did not do? I did not tap.
The difference between me and Eddie Kingston is I accept responsibility for my actions. I accept responsibility for my mistakes. I accept responsibility for my shortcomings. Eddie Kingston is always blaming somebody else.
Brunsburg, I never tapped. You never heard me say I quit. What made you think? What gave you the right? What gave you the balls to ring that bell?
Here, when we're in the ring, that's our professional life. And when you're in a world title match on national television, We're at work, and it's my job to protect you from yourself.
He blames somebody else for punching a promoter. He blames somebody else for throwing a temper tantrum and getting himself fired. I've put out a lot of Eddie Kingston fires. I've stood by Eddie Kingston and had his back as he burned down bridge after bridge after bridge.
Jon Moxley has the most dominant fighting spirit in all of pro wrestling. In any federation, any organization, for my money.
I think an I Quit match plays into Eddie Kingston's hands. I really do. You have to understand Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, it's obvious they have a lot in common. They're old friends. Eddie knows Mox really, really well.
He's a tough guy, man. He's used to street fighting. And that's the thing that he can do, is that Eddie Kingston can match fighting, striking, as close as anybody we've got in AEW with Jon Moxley.
I think it's a classic match because of their backgrounds and their careers. So similar. Neither man would quit until he got to the top. And both men are in AEW right now. So I Quit is the perfect match for these two.
No one's got up in Mox's face. See, I enjoy this. I enjoy being put through hell. You wanna know why? Because I believe it's God's way of punishing me for all the things I've done in my life.
You know better than anybody. There is no greater pain that you feel down deep, twisting in your guts. No greater pain than losing a friend. Than watching that friend turn their back on you. Watching that friend change right before your eyes. Listening to that friend talk about how everything that you're proud of in your life, in your career, everything you have earned, through nothing but hard work and sacrifice. Listening to that friend make you feel bad about it, make you feel guilty about it, throw it back in your face.
It's not personal. I just want to beat his ass a little bit for forgetting people like me. Some of us aren't here no more. Some of us have passed away. Because either drugs, alcohol, or because of pro wrestling. Mox forgot those people.
Until somebody proves to me that they can outfight Jon Moxley, I'm going to go with Moxley without a doubt. I think it's going to be it could be a bloodbath type match because the guys are going to be striking each other. That's Eddie Kingston's way to glory.
What I care about is winning. What I care about is fighting. What I care about is looking at my mother and going, Ma, I'm sorry I didn't give you a grandkid. Ma, I'm sorry I didn't give you a daughter-in-law. That's why I want to tell her sorry. Sorry, but look what I have. Look what I did this for, and it's the AEW World's Heavyweight Championship.
If Eddie Kingston became the AEW World Champion, it would be one of the great stories of wrestling in the last 5 to 10 years, I would think, because of his determination, because of where he came from.
When he's in a situation when he can't escape, he will be all alone. And finally, there will be nobody else to blame. There will be no excuses. There will be no promoter to punch out. There will be no tantrum to throw. There'll be absolutely nothing you can do but accept the fact that you are going to say, I quit. And repent for your actions.
You know what I'm representing? I'm representing every mutt that's out there. I'm representing everybody who said, hey, man, you're too fat. Hey, man, you got a bad attitude. Hey, you'll never make it. This is for the kid on the street corner on East 237. Just hanging out thinking, man, I gotta get out of this neighborhood. This is for you. And for all the people that don't like it, or for all the people I'm not doing it for, in all honesty, including you, John, you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the buy-in for All Elite Wrestling's Full Gear. I am Excalibur, joined by the one and only hardest working man in show business, Tony Schiavone. And Tony, we have an incredible way to kick off the night here tonight.
It's going to be a great night, Excalibur. It's great to be with everybody for another great AEW pay-per-view. We have 8 great matches on the card tonight. I think our best card. This being the buy-in, though, is going to be tremendous.
Yeah,
as well.
before we get to Full Gear, right here on the buy-in, the NWA Women's World Championship will be on the line when champion Serena Deeb defends against the challenger and former champion Allison Kay.
And then when Full Gear comes your way at 8 o'clock, these great matches. Orange Cassidy against John Silver, number 4, the Dark Order.
The TNT Championship will be on the line. Cody defends the title against Darby Allin. Can Darby Allin become the face of TNT? Find out here tonight.
And can Nyla Rose regain the Women's Championship? She will be going up against Hikaru Shida. Of course, Vicky Guerrero will be in her corner.
For the first time ever, an Elite Deletion match. Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara. The history between these two men has been long and bloody. It will culminate here tonight.
And who will get the next world title shot? The finals of the Eliminator Tournament tonight. Kenny Omega and his partner, former partner, Hangman Adam Page.
If MJF wins, he can join the Inner Circle. But Le Champion, the Demo God, Chris Jericho, will have something to say about it when he meets MJF one-on-one later on tonight.
Tonight, for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, the Young Bucks get their shot against FTR, the champions. And keep in mind, Tully Blanchard has been barred from ringside.
And in our main event, I Quit match for the AEW World Championship. It's personal, it's heated. It is Jon Moxley, the champion, versus Eddie Kingston, the challenger. But before we get to that, let's take a look at what led to MJF asking Chris Jericho if he could join the Inner Circle.
I don't think there's anybody of his age or his experience level who's done what he's done in such a short period of time.
This is the biggest opportunity of my life, and I am not taking it for granted. So I'm going to let you know something man to man. I will do whatever it takes to win. I will do anything to win.
I'd expect nothing less.
No, Chris, you don't understand.
You don't have that killer instinct.
Anything.
Odds are that Chris is going into this match very confident, as he should be. Look, we're fighting over my right on whether or not I can be in the Inner Circle.
Jericho, get the referees out here. Somebody winged it. Security, for God's sake.
He's passed a lot of tests to earn the right to stand across the ring from Chris Jericho. From his performance in Le Dinner Debonair, to the way he answered the questions at the town hall meeting, to the way he handled Sammy and Ortiz's resistance to him joining the Inner Circle. Everything he's done, every step of the way, has been absolutely tremendous. He's showing why I'm even considering this in the first place, but he still has to beat me. I don't know if he can. Like I said, not a lot of people can beat Chris Jericho.
They're both smart enough to realize what a threat the other man possesses.
Can MJF beat me? I don't know.
It would bar none be the biggest win in my entire career, and that's saying stuff, man, because I've beaten everybody. But Chris Jericho isn't everybody. Chris Jericho is a legend. Chris Jericho is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Chris Jericho will probably go down as one of, if not the greatest professional wrestler of all time, until I retire.
If he's good enough physically, if he's good enough mentally, if he's smart enough, maybe he can beat Chris Jericho. I wouldn't bet on it, but if he can, then he'll be offered the keys to the Inner Circle Kingdom.
Tony, can MJF join the Inner Circle? Can MJF beat Chris Jericho? We will find out at the top of the hour on BR Live Fight TV, internationally or traditional pay-per-view. Full Gear's coming at you.
I really think there's a lot of respect between these two men. I'd be very interested to see if MJF can beat Jericho.
MJF was speaking with Alex Abrahantes earlier today. Let's go to that footage.
Well, there are certainly interesting circumstances that have led up to the stipulation in this matchup. And right now, MJF, I have a couple of questions for you. This past Wednesday night on Dynamite, Chris Jericho called you soft.
No. See, you don't get to say that. Nobody gets to say that because I'm not soft, no. I'm razor sharp. I'm tough as nails. Nobody in all of AEW is tougher than me, but everybody seems to get it twisted. They get confused when they see the $5,000 suits, the Burberry scarf, the beautiful jewelry. But don't get it twisted, folks, because no one is better than me bell to bell. Now, as far as MJF versus Chris Jericho, this is obviously a very important matchup. It is the demo god versus the ratings ruler. Two of the biggest names in all of professional wrestling, going toe to toe. This is the most important matchup of my life, Alex. And some might say that's a bit ridiculous to say because I wrestled Jonathan Moxley for the AEW World title. And to them, I'd say, you're an idiot. If Jonathan Moxley cheated while I was in the inner circle, that wouldn't have flew by, that wouldn't have worked. So when I beat Chris Jericho, and trust me, I am going to beat Chris Jericho, I will get to have the inner circle at my helm. I will get to be a part of the greatest faction in all professional wrestling, and I will easily get as much gold as I want.
Okay, well, Wardlow, how do you feel you'll fit in the inner circle?
That's actually a great question for me, Alex. Wardlow's gonna fit in great. Everybody loves Wardlow, great athlete. As long as Jake Hager stops making weird faces at him, he's gonna fit in swell.
Okay, well, let's talk about Jake Hager and some of the other members of the inner circle. They quite frankly don't want you in at MJF. What are your thoughts on that?
Bring that up, Alex, you stooge. Listen, don't know if you've noticed this, bud, but not a lot of people love MJF. But you know why that doesn't matter, Alex?
Why?
Because I'm better than you, and you know it.
Well, Tony Schiavone, you don't chant Tracy sucks, and you don't call MJF soft.
Well, but you can call him arrogant, and his arrogance has not changed. Very intriguing storyline when you talk about Chris Jericho and MJF coming up.
Most certainly is. We will find out what happens later tonight, but before we do that, let's throw it down to Justin Roberts inside the ring.
This contest set for one fall with a 60-minute time limit is for the NWA Women's World Championship. Introducing the challenger from Detroit, Michigan, Allison Kay.
Tony, Allison Kay making her all-elite wrestling debut here tonight, but she is no stranger to that NWA Women's World Championship.
Former NWA Women's World Champion. She has been up and down the road, so to speak. Interesting that she and the champ, Serena Deeb, know each other quite well. And having a chance to talk to her in the back, she's very, very confident about being able to regain the title here at Excalibur.
And interestingly enough, declared her free agency earlier this week. We'll touch on that more a little bit later.
And her opponent, from Oakton, Virginia, she is the NWA Women's World Champion, Serena Deeb.
Tony, it goes without saying, Serena Deeb has made a huge splash here in the women's division of All Elite Wrestling since her arrival.
Absolutely. Not only that, she's a former, maybe she still is a yoga instructor, but she's in such great shape. If you're going to beat Serena Deeb, Excalibur, you're going to have to push her to the limit. And sometimes that doesn't even work because she's in such great shape, cardiovascular conditioning. And not only that, I think she's worthy of wearing that title belt.
She is a tremendous athlete, exemplified by the fact that she won the NWA Women's World Championship 11 days ago, immediately got on a plane, came here to Jacksonville, and defended the title 24 hours later against legit Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, that says something about her work ethic and her determination. You need that. You need a great work ethic. You need a great spirit, a great hard-working determination spirit. And boy, I don't know if you noticed that or not, she pointed to the belt and told Allison Kay, hey, that's mine, that's my belt. And right now, she's giving up some size here to Allison Kay as well.
And before this match gets underway, I want to welcome all of our friends joining us here tonight on Sky Germany. Guten Tag? Guten Nacht, actually.
Oh, very good. How about this? Allison Kay showing a lot of power. And look at Serena just muscle her back at the corner.
Allison Kay with a very obvious size and strength advantage. But as you mentioned, Serena Deeb, a yoga. Oh, wow. Great trip. Cover. Just a 1 count there. Serena, a yoga instructor, knows how to use her power and flexibility very effectively.
Serena and Allison Kay were tag team partners on the independent circuit. They've shared a dojo together in Japan, so they know each other, which means they know all about what works and what doesn't work against them.
But Tony, a counterpoint to that is that these women have not teamed together and have not trained together that much very lately. Sure. So it's entirely possible that they have some new tricks to break out just like that as Serena Deeb getting that top wrist lock, driving Allison Kay down to the canvas.
You know, you can just take a look at Serena Excalibur and see in her face her determination. And that says a lot about her, I think. Sometimes some competitors will show you a lot facially. I mean, she shows grit and determination in her face, and people like to be cold and calculated, not her.
Yeah, she is very focused, and no real poker face there. It's, you know exactly what is going through her head. Want to remind everybody that at the top of the hour, Full Gear will be available live on pay-per-view, BR Live, or Fight TV International. You can still order now. Our main event here tonight, Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, that huge I Quit match.
We're over a year into AEW. I think it's our best pay-per-view lineup, top to bottom.
Completely stacked. Oh, right here, Serena Deeb going for a pinfall attempt. Allison Kay able to kick out. Oh, speaking of kicks, Dragon Screw. Wrenching Kay down by the knee is Serena Deeb, the NWA Women's World Champion.
Serena's brought a little bit of attitude with her with that championship, and I think it's great strategy to keep the bigger lady off her feet here.
Serena looking for perhaps that Serenity Lock.
Look at this.
No, opting not. Instead, she's got the knees tied up, the arms captured.
Yes.
Through Allison. Does a good job getting her shoulder off the canvas.
Yeah, Serena's got to be careful on a move like that. She could have her shoulders down as well.
Serena, goes back and again putting pressure on that left knee of Allison Kay.
I like how quickly she goes back to the attack again, wasting no energy here.
There was the Serenity Lock attempt, and Kay identified it, and that's the familiarity of these two women, Tony.
Absolutely, but you talk about how things change. Everybody learns, everybody changes, and everybody comes up with a different strategy, but I'm surprised. Uh-oh, watch out.
A little aggression here from Allison Kay.
Yeah. Oh, yikes. I guess so.
But Serena Deeb returns fire. Double leg takedown, and now Allison Kay just hammering the champion.
I love aggressiveness. I love to see this. Go at your opponent.
Oh,
yikes.
Overhand chop, now knife edge chop. Allison Kay stomping a mud hole in Serena Deeb.
It's pretty logical to say, but Serena needs to get out of the corner. She can't let the lady with more size on her. There you go. Just sandwich her in the corner and take advantage of it.
Well, Allison stuck her head between the ropes. Serena Deeb grabs a front chancery. Not a legal submission hold, but instead Serena transitions.
Oh boy, this is gonna hurt.
Hanging neck breaker off the center strand. Tony, you mentioned earlier that Allison Kay, the former NWA Women's World Champion, she defeated Santana Garrett 29-2. Oh, look at this, ghetto clutch, 1, 2. Just a 2 count for Serena Deeb. Roll up, and now Serena Deeb returning the fire.
It really surprised me that Serena went that way. I thought maybe she would try to get a pin here, but no, she's letting her temper get the best of her here.
These two women, heated rivals here. Oh, wow. Great show of strength there by Allison Kay, but Serena Deeb not letting Kay catch her breath. Oh! And we talked about Kay as the former NWA Women's World Champion. She now goes for a cover here, hooks the far leg. 2 count from referee Mike Posey. Allison Kay, of course, earlier this week announced that she and the National Wrestling Alliance have parted ways. Allison Kay now a freelancer, and so it's very interesting to find herself in the ring challenging for the title of the organization that she just parted ways with, Tony.
Yeah, I think it would be very interesting if she would win this title tonight, what that would do to the NWA, but also I think it's great that she is here on the buy-in in AEW since she said she's a free agent now. She's going to get a look here by AEW officials, by Tony Khan, I would think.
And what a great bargaining chip it would be for her to come away with that NWA Women's World Championship.
Absolutely.
Serena Deeb trying to fight to her feet out of that straitjacket.
She's got a great vertical base on that, but Serena just coming right out of it.
Serena turns it around. Oh, backstabber by Serena Deeb.
Good move, Allison, coming right out of it first, but man, she cannot get to her feet. She was trying.
Yeah, she was making her way over. Oh, hoists up Serena Deeb. Serena, you can see, trying to get down, trying to get her feet planted on the ground. But no, now actually, Serena Deeb with the Manjigatami. Flying octopus hold, whatever you want to call it. She's got it sunk in on Allison Kay.
Couldn't get her feet on the mat, though, Excalibur. Couldn't get it on.
That's that height advantage that Kay possesses. Oh! Plants her down to no. Serena Deeb kicking out.
Great move, not the best cover, though, and now she's doing what she should have done last time.
Yeah, high stack there, but too little, too late. Serena Deeb is in a really tough spot here, Tony.
Yeah, she's in trouble, and Allison now is just going to work on the neck, the head. Right now, what they're doing, what she's doing now, she's planning what she's going to do next. When she grabs a hold like that, that's wrestlers thinking about what they're going to do next.
Yeah, soften her up, looking for the next step on the game plan. Allison Kay, when she was NWA Women's World Champion, defended the title 5 times, was ultimately dethroned by Thunder Rosa. This is Serena Deeb's second ever title defense of that Women's World Championship title. Oh, spine buster there by Kay.
Stay out of her grip.
Covers, 2. Serena fires that right shoulder up off the canvas.
Yeah, that was, she shouldn't have run into her like that. Run with reckless abandon right into this girl who is bigger and obviously stronger than you are. Stay away from her, and now look at this crossface, or actually a rear naked.
Yeah, the sleeper has a twofold effect there. She's A, cutting off the blood flow to the brain, and then B, making Serena Deeb, making the smaller athlete carry Allison Kay's weight. Oh, double clothesline, both women on the same page here.
And you can see the stronger the two women having, well, I was saying having the bigger effect. I'm not so sure now. Allison's trying to, boy, both are just trying to push themselves up.
No punches pulled here tonight on the buy-in. Want to remind fans at the top of the hour, Full Gear will be live on pay-per-view, BR Live, or Fight TV internationally. You still have a chance to order it. You don't want to miss it. Our biggest card ever. Oh, short arm clothesline by Serena Deeb.
There you go. This is the conditioning we talked about with Serena. It's got to really come into play here. She's got to really outwork the girl here.
Really intense uppercuts there by Serena Deeb. The mare, the stomp, and oh! Driving the boot into the face of the challenger.
Well, conditioning so much a part of what's going on. Serena's showing a little attitude here. Look at this. She wants her to get up.
Serena trying to push the pace. Swinging neck breaker. Serena rolls through, gets to her feet, and now looking perhaps the hanging neck breaker.
Boy, that should do it.
Over the shoulder covers, no! Allison Kay.
Yeah, she's just too strong in the lower part of the body there. Just the legs just push right out of that.
You can hear the great crowd on hand here in Daly's Place. Of course, we are happy to have the fans back as Serena trying to look for a pile driver. Everybody, of course, in masks, socially distanced according to CDC guidelines as Allison Kay covers. 2 count, and Tony, an arrogant cover right there.
Yeah, it sure was. Just pushing the face, and that's all she did. She did not press the shoulders, didn't even press the legs.
Allison Kay hit her with that water wheel drop, but opted instead for that arrogant cover. It may come back to haunt her, or it may not. Oh, drops down Serena Deeb, but Serena immediately rolls out. She went for that AK-47. Serena, great ring awareness, Tony.
That AK-47 is Allison's premier move, and yep, she rolled out. That was a heads-up maneuver.
Allison Kay following her opponent, the champion, into the ring, and oh, the dragon screw in the ropes.
Wow, that caught the knee. That caught that left knee, Excalibur.
Usually that dragon screw, it torques the knee of the opponent all the way around. When it's done while in the ropes, it does not allow. Oh! She just flattened Allison Kay. Shoots the half, covers 2. No!
Too close.
And it's that injured left knee from that dragon screw in the ropes. The ropes prevent the momentum of the opponent from being carried over. Serena identifies that. Now with the arm hooked, floats over, and the Serenity Lock.
She's got it, boy, and look at this. Too far from the ropes. She needs to try to maneuver herself there.
Serena Deeb wrenches back. The challenger taps out. The champion retains.
The winner of this match ends still NWA Women's World Champion, Serena Deeb.
When she rode on the outside of Excalibur and then had Allison come get her, that's when it all went downhill for Allison Kay, because she used that dragon screw on the rope, softened up the knee, and led to the finish.
An extremely savvy veteran move there by Serena Deeb, pulling one over on her former tag team partner and still a good friend. Oh, what is...
Wow. It's the former champion Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa looks like she's not done with Serena Deeb in that NWA Women's World Championship, Tony, and understandably so.
Yeah, you knew that Thunder Rosa was not done. I didn't expect to see her here, to be honest with you. But why not, right? Here on the buy-in, millions of fans watching in. Make your challenge for the return.
Thunder Rosa was defeated by Serena Deeb 11 days ago for that NWA Women's World Championship. Thunder Rosa is here to stake her claim for that rematch.
A rematch that I would love to see.
Well, Tony, things are picking up, and it's just the buy-in. But later on tonight, Full Gear on pay-per-view, the finals of the AEW World Title Eliminator match. Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page.
It's going to be great. One of these two will go on to get a world title shot. These two were tag teams for tag team partners for a long time.
When you have the level of talent in this tournament, anything could happen. And I think Kenny and Hangman being in the tournament final at Full Gear is the storybook ending that everyone was hoping for.
Both winning type guys, but I think they're two individuals that inadvertently were put together as a team and they gelled.
I think Kenny Omega is still trying to find who Kenny Omega is after his time with Page as tag team champions.
When he and Page were finally dethroned, that gave Kenny the perfect excuse to say, hey, I don't need anybody else. This is my time. I can do it myself.
I see Kenny Omega winning the match, only because, to me, he is wrestling with an abundance of confidence right now.
If Hangman Page is mentally focused, has a great strategy, he can beat Kenny Omega.
For me, this is easy. As a subject matter expert on Kenny Omega, the world's greatest wrestler is going to beat Hangman Page. You heard it from Don Callis.
It'll be interesting to see how much they took away from each other as far as knowing each other and how that's going to play out in the match.
Anyone you got at me, I'm gonna win this thing and I'm gonna be the champion that I was destined to be in AEW, Hangman Adam Page or not.
Tony Schiavone, a really interesting rivalry here between two former partners, but a rivalry of a completely different type in our main event.
Yeah, two guys who have gone down the road together, traveled together, and now the only way to win that world title match tonight, Excalibur, is to say, I quit.
Earlier today, Alex Abrahantes had a chance to catch up with Eddie Kingston and his family on the red carpet.
I'm here with Eddie Kingston and his fam, and Eddie, obviously, it's the most important night in your professional career, and I have a couple questions for you. But before I ask you, would it be all right if I asked members of the fam a couple questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, very good. So Butcher, Blade, and Bunny, you've obviously known Eddie Kingston for a long period of time. Do you think he has what it takes to make Jon Moxley say the words, I quit?
What kind of question is that, Alex? What do you think? You don't think he has what it takes? Is that why you're asking me that? Of course he has what it takes. I think he's made it perfectly clear that he is not going to say, I quit. Right, Alex? Right?
Okay. It was just a question. I understand.
Stupid question. It's a stupid question.
Okay, well, let me move on to the Lucha Brothers, if you don't mind. I'm sorry about that. Lucha Brothers, ¿ustedes piensan que Eddie Kingston está listo para Jon Moxley esta noche?
Por supuesto. ¿Sabes por qué? Número uno, Eddie es my best friend. Número dos, Eddie es 1000 veces mejor que Mox. ¿O no?
Por supuesto, Eddie es el mejor.
Okay, muy bien. Eddie, a couple of questions for you. We saw a very intense confrontation this Wednesday between you and Jon Moxley. So I'd love to know whether the AEW Championship is more important to you tonight, or is making Jon Moxley say the words, I quit, more important?
Nothing's more important than that World's Championship. Nothing. No revenge, no making a man say I quit, no beating a man half to death. It's all about the World's Championship. The only championship that means anything in this great sport. The only company that matters. That's what matters.
Okay, very good. So I have to ask you, if you were to become AEW champion here tonight, Lance Archer says that he's standing in the wings. Does that concern you at all?
I don't care. It's only about the World Championship. Moxley has it. I don't care about Archer. I don't care about Pac. I do not care.
Tony Schiavone, Eddie Kingston is usually the loudest voice in the room, but a very subdued and focused Kingston here tonight.
Most focused I've ever seen him. Made more focus than any athlete backstage right now.
It will be our main event of Full Gear. Eddie Kingston, Jon Moxley, I Quit match, but let's throw it down to Justin Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame voice of wrestling, Jim Ross.
Tony, we've got a big night of action, and we've got the biggest voice in pro wrestling here to join us tonight.
Woohoo! There you are.
Of course, we had to bungle a high five. JR is joining us, but we hope that you'll join us at the top of the hour, Full Gear on pay-per-view, BR Live, or Fight TV internationally. JR, we've got a ginormous night of action ahead of us.
I have never been around a group of guys like these talents here today as tense and as a little surly as they are. Yeah. That tells me, boys, there's going to be some contact, there's going to be some surprises. This is going to be a hell of a night.
Yeah, we saw it from Eddie Kingston. We saw in that interview on his face. Intense is what it's all about. And as we've said many times, JR, Excalibur, I know you agree, what a great night. Great matches top to bottom of this card.
And the weather's great. The game's over next door. Sorry,
yes,
Tony.
That happens.
That happens. But nonetheless, beautiful night for amphitheater wrestling. I can't wait. Guys, championships galore. It's going to be amazing.
All of the AEW World Championships will be on the line tonight at Full Gear, just minutes away on pay-per-view, BR Live, or Fight TV internationally.
We got about 1,000 fans here, Tony, all wearing masks, socially distancing. We love this atmosphere.
In their family pods, as you can see.
Folks, you're going to love it, too. It may be the most dynamic lineup I've ever seen in recent years on pay-per-view. It's coming up right now. Join